Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Mr. Humble Poker, and this is my bankroll challenge. I started this whole thing back in May, which is $125, and the goal was to grind it up, hand by hand, session by session, while breaking down the strategy along the way and showing it to you guys. I work full-time in construction, so I'm getting these videos out as fast as I can, but I appreciate all the support. If you have any suggestions for the channel, definitely let me know in the comments. Right now, the bankroll sits at $244.60, which is the highest we ever gotten to. Let's see if we can get it even higher and jump into some hands. Okay, first meaningful hand. I'm in the big blind with Queen Jack of Spades. The hijack limps, it folds to me, and I make it 4.5 big blinds. The hijack calls. Flop comes 10 of clubs, 2 of spades, ace of spades. So I flop a gut shot and a flush draw. I c-bet 2.7 big blinds, and the hijack calls. Turn is the queen of clubs, so I have a pair now. I decide to bet medium strength 7.1 big blinds, and the hijack calls again. River comes the dream card 9 of spades. I decide to bet full pot 27.5 big blinds, trying to get max value from any ace X. The hijack calls, and we win a nice one to start out. I'm able to see what he has. He actually had 2 pair. So maybe I could have even went bigger with value. Next hand, I'm in the big blind with 5 of spades, jack of diamonds. The hijack limps, the button limps, and I check my option. The flop comes great. It's king of spades, jack of hearts, jack of clubs. Out of position, I check. The hijack checks, and the button bets 3 big blinds. I think this was my mistake in this hand. I just call, and the hijack calls. Turn is the ace of spades. I check, and now the hijack, who checked and then just called, bets 11.8 big blinds. That's a pot-sized bet. The button folds. And I actually consider folding here, but I figured if I am behind, I can hit a 5 and boat up, so I call. River is the queen of hearts. I check, planning to fold to any bet, but the hijack checks back. And he wins. He has queen 10, so he hit the straight, and I was behind. Now I'm in the cutoff with jack 10 of spades and open to 2.5 big blinds. The button calls and the big blind calls. The flop comes 4 of spades, jack of diamonds, 9 of spades. The big blind checks, and with my top pair and flush draw, I bet 3.3 big blinds. The button calls and the big blind folds. Turn is the 8 of spades. I hit my flush. I size up a little and bet 8.9 big blinds, and the button calls again. River is the queen of clubs. Not the best card because it kills a little action, so I bet under pot, but still pretty big, 27.6 big blinds. Hoping he has another 10 and just side calls, but unfortunately he folds, but we take down a decent sized pot. I'm in the big blind with queen jack of diamonds. The low jack limps, the button limps, the small blind calls, and I decided to raise it to 9 big blinds. The low jack calls, the button and small blind fold. The flop is queen of hearts, 7 of clubs, king of hearts. I c-bet 7.5 big blinds, and the low jack calls. The turn is the ace of spades. Probably the worst card for me, another overpair to my queen. So I check, and now the low jack bets 11 big blinds. I didn't know what to make of the smallish bet, so I decide my hand's still too strong to fold. So I make a call, hoping it just checks back on the river. River is the 6 of spades. I check, and now the villain bets 40 big blinds, a huge bet, and I, of course, have to fold. Next hand, I wake up with king of diamonds, king of hearts in the cutoff, and open to 2.5 big blinds. The button calls, and the small blind calls. Flop comes 3 of clubs, queen of diamonds, 9 of spades. Small blind checks, and I c-bet for 4 big blinds. The button folds, but the small blind calls. Turn is the 4 of hearts. Small blind checks. I think I'm still ahead and want to get some value. I bet 9.8 big blinds. But now out of nowhere, the small blind check raises huge to 45 big blinds. I just can't think of any bluffs. This guy's a decent player. He's not doing this with a queen. So I make a pretty tight fold, and this one hurts. We got to bounce back. I'm in the low jack with king jack of diamonds and open to 2.5 big blinds. The hijack calls and the button calls. The flop comes 8 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, 4 of clubs. I c-bet, like always, 2.6 big blinds. The hijack calls, and the button calls. The turn is the queen of diamonds. We hit our flush. I decide to bet out 11 big blinds. The hijack folds, but the button calls. River is a 2 of spades, a blank. I decide to overbet 38.7 big blinds. I was thinking if he has a queen or 9, he might make a hero call thinking it looks like a bluff. But unfortunately he folds. But at least we win a pot. Now I'm in the big blind with 10 of hearts, 10 of clubs. The low jack limps, the small blind calls, and I raise it up to 8 big blinds. The low jack calls and the small blind folds. The flop is ace of diamonds, queen of spades, 2 of clubs. Every time I play pocket tens, I get overcards coming out. Since there's 2 overcards, I decide to check, and low jack checks back. Turn is the 9 of clubs. Since he checked back, I decide to bet 4.8 big blinds. Low jack calls. River is a 3 of hearts. I have no idea what he has, so I check, hoping it checks back, and it does. He mucks, and I win. Not the most interesting hand, but a nice small pot. Now I'm in the big blind with 6 of hearts, 6 of clubs. The low jack limps, the hijack limps, and I decided to just min raise to 2 big blinds. I didn't want to play a bigger pot and then a bunch of overcards come. So I'm just really set mining here. The hijack calls and the low jack call. The flop comes 5 of hearts, 3 of spades, 2 of spades. It's a good flop for my hand, so I bet out 2 big blinds. The low jack calls and the hijack call. The turn is a 6 of diamonds. So I make my set, but now there's a one-liner to a straight. So I check, and now the low jack bets 5 big blinds. The hijack folds, and I call. The river comes beautiful, 3 of clubs. I decide to size up and bet 36 big blinds. My thinking was he let out on the turn, so he could have a 4, and it would be really hard to fold a 4. But unfortunately, I don't think he had the straight because he lays it down. But we win a nice little pot. This one was interesting. I'm in the big blind again with 6 of diamonds, 5 of clubs. The low jack min raises to 2 big blinds. Everyone folds, and I call. The flop comes queen of hearts, 7 of clubs, 8 of diamonds. I have an open-end straight draw. I check, planning to check raise if he bets small, and that's what he does. Low jack bets 1.4 big blinds. I check raise to 4.8 big blinds. I think this is a little mistake. I should have went bigger. The low jack calls. Turn is the 3 of hearts. I decide to not slow down, and I bet a decent size 9.7 big blinds. Unfortunately, the low jack calls again. The river comes the jack of diamonds. And here's where I make the bad decision. I should have blasted off. I should have just bet full pot. I got nervous though, and I thought he might have a queen and there was no way he was folding. So I chicken out and give up and check. Low jack checks back and he has ace high, ace 9 of hearts. This one hurts because he definitely would have folded that. I don't know how he calls me on the flop after I check raise with basically nothing but backdoors. The turn makes sense because then he picked up a flush draw, but still really frustrating. Right after that, I get ace 9 of hearts in the big blind. Cutoff raises to 2.5 big blinds, and I call. Flop comes decent. King of hearts, 9 of clubs, 6 of hearts. I check, planning to check raise if he bets small, but he bets 4 big blinds, which is decent size, so I just call. Turn is the 3 of spades. I check again, and now cutoff bets 9.9 big blinds. Again, he's using big sizing, so I just call. River comes the 4 of clubs, so we miss our flush draw and just have a pair of 9s. I check hoping to get the showdown, but cutoff bets 24.3 big blinds. My first instinct was to fold, but then the more I thought about it, I don't think he has a king. Because a king doesn't bet 3 streets like this big. But my mistake was not thinking about, all right, if he doesn't have a king, what else is he doing this with value? So I call, and his line makes perfect sense. He has a set of 6s. I don't mind bluff catching with his polarized range, but I have the blockers that I want him to be bluffing with. I have the hearts. So we make another bad decision and lose a big one. Now we're down heaps, but we have to keep battling. And I wake up in a low jack with ace king of diamonds. I open the 2.5 big blinds. The hijack calls and the button calls. The flop comes king of hearts, king of clubs, 3 of hearts. Beautiful. I check since I'm blocking the best hand. And hijack bets 4.3 big blinds. The button calls, and I decide to raise right now to 13.6 big blinds. The hijack calls, but the button folds. Turn is the 6 of spades. I bet pot trying to win some of this money back, but unfortunately, the villain folds. Now we wake up on the button with queen of diamonds, queen of clubs. The low jack opens to 2.5 big blinds. The hijack calls. I 3-bet to 13 big blinds. The low jack folds, but the hijack calls. The flop comes jack of diamonds, 6 of hearts, jack of hearts. Villain checks. I look over at a stack and he only has a pot-sized bet left. So no matter what, all the money's going in. So I go all in and he tanks for a while. So that confirms it in my mind that I had the best hand. But then he calls and he has king of diamonds, jack of spades. So that's devastating. I don't improve in the run out, and I'm right back down the heaps. Okay, last hand of the session. I'm going to try to get some of it back. I'm in the cutoff with jack 10 of spades and open to 2.5 big blinds. The big blind calls. Flop comes queen of hearts, 9 of hearts, 7 of clubs. The big blind checks. Since I don't unblock top pair, I see bet for 2 big blinds, and he calls. Turn is the king of diamonds. We hit the nuts. Big blind checks again, and I bet 7.5 big blinds, and he calls. River is the 8 of clubs. Big blind checks again, and I decide to bet big, 33.2 big blinds. I'm hoping he has a lower straight or 2 pair or something. He does call and mucks. So we win a decent-sized pot to end the night, but I'm pretty sure we're still down. We'll see. All right, let's tally up the results. We started this session at $244.60 and ended at $240.67. That's a loss of $3.93, around 40 big blinds. If you have any suggestions on the decisions I made in this video, please drop them down in the comments. I really appreciate the feedback. And if you can take a second, please like the video and hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. And as always, this is Mr. Humble Poker. Stay humble, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.